You buy your dream home, quiet neighborhood, beautiful architecture, everything you ever wanted, and then the letters start arriving. From someone who says they've been watching you, watching your house, watching your children. Welcome to the Red String Room, the place where every detail matters, every story unravels, and every clue is connected. Today, we examine one of the most unsettling stalker cases in modern America. This is the story of the Watcher House. Westfield, New Jersey, a wealthy suburban town, often ranked as one of the safest in the United States. In June 2014, Derek and Maria Broaddus purchased a 6-bedroom Dutch colonial home at 657 Boulevard for $1.35 million. Derek had just turned 40 and worked as a senior VP at an insurance company in New York. Maria had grown up nearby. They had 3 children, ages 5, 8, and 10. The house was more than a home, it was their dream. They hadn't even moved in yet when the first letter arrived. The envelope had no return address. It was handwritten and simply addressed to the new owner. Inside, the typed letter said,
"Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood."
Then it turned dark.
My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched it in the 1960s. Now it is my time.
The letter referenced the Broaddus family's new Honda minivan. It mentioned contractors working inside the house. Someone had been watching. Another letter came just days later.
Have they found what is in the walls yet? I saw one of the children drawing in the sunroom.
The third letter, delivered in July 2014, read,
Where have you gone to? 657 Boulevard is missing you.
And then, silence, for 3 years, until 2017. The final letter, more aggressive and mocking, called Derek a braggart and Maria a wench. It said,
You are despised by the house, and the Watcher won.
The Broadduses contacted Westfield police. Detective Leonard Lugo interviewed neighbors and brought in local experts. The first suspect was Michael Langford. He lived next door and had lived there for decades. He denied writing the letters. There was no evidence. The Broadduses hired a private investigator and even a former FBI profiler, Robert Lenehan. Lenehan noted the letters used double spacing, formal phrasing, and old-fashioned tone. He believed the writer was older, highly literate, and possibly female. DNA was pulled from one of the envelopes. It came back as female, but there was no match. Michael Langford, the longtime neighbor, he was odd but never threatening. The police found nothing to charge him with. 2. Robert Kaplow, a retired English teacher, a neighbor who allegedly wrote strange letters to others, but no link to the Watcher letters was ever found. 3. The Broadduses themselves. Some believe they faked the letters to back out of the deal or stir up sympathy. Derek admitted later that he anonymously wrote letters to his neighbors, but only after months of tension and accusations. Still, the DNA didn't match, and no one has confessed. In 2015, the Broadduses sued the previous owners, the Woods family, for not disclosing a letter they received just before selling. The Woodses claimed they thought it was a one-time prank. The lawsuit was dismissed in 2017. Eventually, the Broadduses rented the house to tenants. Then, in 2019, they sold it, at a $400,000 loss. In 2022, Netflix released a limited series called The Watcher, based on the case. It dramatized the events, changed the family's names, and took major creative liberties, but it renewed global interest in the mystery of 657 Boulevard. To this day, no new letters have been reported. The case remains open, but inactive. The current owners have reported no problems, but the details still haunt those who followed the case. The generational obsession. The reference to watching the house for decades, the children being watched, the DNA match to no one. Was it a neighbor, a hoax, a family member with a secret, or something darker just beneath the surface of suburbia. The Watcher never signed their real name, they never made a public appearance, and they never got caught. This is the Red String Room, where we follow every thread until the truth unravels. Comment your theory below, and subscribe because the next mystery is already waiting.